There's one brutal truth that quietly destroys most men. The more you seek her approval, the faster you kill her desire. Because in a woman's mind, neediness drains power, and power always belongs to the man who never begs, but makes her earn his presence. Machiavelli may not have written about love, but he understood something crucial. Power flows to the one who commands himself first. Today, you're going to learn 6 psychological rules that dangerous men follow. Men who attract effortlessly. They don't chase, they don't explain, and they never step down from their throne. What you're about to discover can radically change the way you view women, power, and yourself. Remember, you don't chase power, you radiate it. And once you do, she revolves around you. Let's dive in. Rule 1. Mastering the timing. One of the biggest mistakes weak men make? They move too fast. They rush the connection. They smother the natural tension that builds obsession. But dangerous men? They live by a different law. Attraction grows in the spaces between action. Machiavelli would say, power belongs to the man who controls the clock, not the one staring at it. Picture this. You're single. You meet a woman. She shows instant interest. Most men dive in head first, texting her day and night, stacking up dates, over-explaining to secure her. You move differently. After an unforgettable first meeting, you let silence do the talking. You don't disappear. You stay present, but just out of reach. Just enough to trigger the questions in her mind. Why isn't he chasing me? Is he talking to someone else? Does he even want me the way I want him? And just like that, the game shifts in your favor. That invisible gap you created, it pulls her in deeper. You didn't chase, you allowed space. Now imagine this. You're married or in a long-term relationship. A disagreement erupts. Emotions flare. She wants to talk now, to process everything immediately. But you stay grounded, calm. You say, let's talk tomorrow. Once the emotion settles, we'll see it clearly. You don't let her emotional storm set the tempo. You hold the frame, and by doing so, your calm forces her to enter your rhythm. Here's the tactical move. Control time. Let silence breathe. Don't fear the pause. Create space where her curiosity, her doubt, and her desire swirl, without you lifting a finger. Let that sink in. When you own the rhythm, you own the game. Now let's move to the second law. Because most men lose their power by giving too much, too fast. Rule 2. Reversing power. Make her prove her worth. Weak men live their entire lives auditioning. They chase validation. They offer up their value like it's on clearance, hoping that constant attention will be enough to earn affection. But dangerous men? They flip the entire dynamic. They make her earn the right to stay in their world. As Machiavelli might say, power doesn't chase desire. Power decides who's worthy of access. Picture this. You meet a stunning woman. Every other man floods her with attention. You're gorgeous. I'd do anything for you. You deserve the world. But you don't play that game. You don't hand out compliments just because she's attractive. You observe. How does she treat people who offer her nothing? Does she bring peace or chaos into a room? Can she handle silence? Or does she crumble when she's not the center of attention? You're not being rude, you're being discerning. Because your presence is earned, not given. You're not evaluating her looks. You're evaluating her behavior. When she tests you with playful flirtation or subtle manipulation, you stay composed, unmoved, because attraction is easy. But character, that's rare. And now she starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? Why is he making me work for his attention? What does he see in me, or not see? Her mind begins spinning, not around how to win you, but whether she is good enough. She's qualifying herself. You're not in pursuit. She is. Now imagine this dynamic in a marriage or long-term relationship. There's a wave of unnecessary drama, emotional turbulence. She expects you to chase resolution, to calm the storm. But you don't. You respond with calm detachment. When you're ready to return to peace, you'll know where to find me. You step back, not out of anger, but out of control. And she feels it deeply, because you will never trade your inner peace for external chaos. Here's your tactical move. Reverse the frame. Stop trying to win her over. Make it clear. Access to your time, energy, and presence is something to be earned. Never assume. And understand this. The moment she starts trying to prove her worth to you, the power dynamic has already shifted. Now let's move forward, because the next rule doesn't just shift her thoughts. It begins to control her obsession. Rule 3. Mastering emotional addiction through unpredictable validation. Most men offer constant validation, thinking it builds security. But instead it creates boredom. Because when attention becomes predictable, her emotional system shuts down. What she craves is not certainty of attention, but the uncertainty of value, the wondering, the emotional suspense. Machiavelli might have said it this way: people are not ruled by what they possess, but by what they fear losing. Predictable praise. She tunes it out. But when validation is earned, when it appears sporadically and genuinely, it becomes addictive. Not because it's rare, but because it's unpredictable. Let's set the scene. You're single. After a powerful first date, she leans in and smiles. You're different from other guys. Most men would leap at the compliment. They'd respond with something like, "You're amazing too. I feel a strong connection already." That's the fast track to emotional flatness. But you pause. You hold eye contact. You respond with a calm smile. That's what keeps life interesting, isn't it? No full confirmation. No rejection. Just curiosity. Her brain lights up. Is he into me? Why didn't he validate me like everyone else? Does he see something I don't? That moment of uncertainty creates emotional investment, without you chasing anything. Now flip the scene. You're married or in a long-term relationship. After weeks of tension, she surprises you with a beautiful getaway. Most men, desperate to make things right, instantly pour on the praise. "Thank you, baby. You're the best. I'm so lucky to have you." But you don't rush. You enjoy the trip. You stay fully present. You let the experience land, without immediate reward. 2 days after you return, while sipping coffee, you calmly say, "That trip reminded me how much I value having a partner who brings balance to my mission." The delayed recognition hits harder, because what's rare becomes meaningful. Here's your next move. Treat your appreciation like a rare currency. Give warmth. Show gratitude, but never on demand. Let her sit with the tension between effort and reward. Make her wonder when and how you'll respond. That anticipation, it keeps her emotionally engaged on your terms. Now let's go deeper, because the next rule doesn't just build attraction, it anchors psychological power. Rule 4. Develop an emotional center that governs her mind. Most men crack under pressure, because they've tied their identity to a woman's approval. So when things go wrong, they spiral. But dangerous men, they remain grounded, rooted, unshaken by temporary storms. This inner calm, this emotional sovereignty, it commands both respect and obsession. Because women are drawn, instinctively, to men they can't emotionally shake. As Machiavelli warned, a ruler's first conquest must be himself. Without that, all other victories collapse. Now imagine this. You're on a first date. The conversation is flowing. She throws a subtle test your way. She casually brings up her ex-boyfriend, highlighting how attractive or successful he was. Most men would instantly get defensive or try to prove themselves. "Well, I'm not like him. I can give you what he couldn't." But you don't take the bait. You hold calm eye contact. Offer a faint smile and say, "Everyone's past shapes them. I'm only focused on what I build now." No need to react. No attempt to compete. You don't flinch. You don't play her game. And now, her mind starts spinning. Why isn't he thrown off? Why is he so stable? Does he know something I don't? Just like that, her emotional frame starts to revolve around your calm. Now let's apply this in a relationship or marriage. It's a holiday gathering, family drama breaks out. Tensions are high, emotions are flaring. Your partner looks to you to react, to jump into the chaos. But you stay poised. You say without raising your voice, "We'll discuss this privately at home." In that moment, you send a powerful message. I don't let public emotion disrupt my leadership. And later, behind closed doors, you handle the issue. Not with panic, not with blame, but with clarity, composure, and quiet control. Here's your mastery move. Train yourself to neutralize emotional reactivity. Every time you stay still while others lose control, you rise. Every time you embrace silence, while others over-explain, you anchor deeper into your own authority. Let's move forward, because what comes next draws the line between average men and truly dangerous ones. Rule 5. Crushing her tests by rejecting her emotional frames. Most men lose the game before it even begins. Why? Because they walk right into the emotional frames women set. They enter her world, her pace, her tests, without even realizing it. But dangerous men, they know the rule. Never engage on ground your opponent chooses. Bring them onto ground you control. Machiavelli. Let's set the scene. You're dating a woman, things are going well. Suddenly she throws the classic pressure test. Where is this going? Are you serious about us? The average guy will instantly fall into the trap. Explaining, reassuring, promising. But you lean back, relaxed, and say we enjoy each other. Great things grow naturally. If it has to be forced, it isn't real. Now the frame flips. She's the one wondering. Why doesn't he feel the pressure? Why is he so calm? What does he know that I don't? Her mind begins working for you, not against you. Now shift the scene to a long-term relationship. Your partner throws out hypothetical fears. What if you stop prioritizing me? What if you get bored of us someday? Most men rush to reassure. No, baby, I'd never do that. You're everything to me. You don't. You hold steady and say, I don't respond to hypotheticals. We build in the present. We deal with what's real. You don't let imagined fears disrupt your grounded presence. She feels your strength. She recognizes your leadership. Here's your strategic move. Stay outside her emotional frame, always. You lead by defining, not defending. If she throws out emotional scenarios, you dissolve them with calm certainty. You control the meaning, the tempo, and the emotional climate of every interaction. Let's keep going, because this last rule is where you trigger something most men never achieve: permanent emotional attachment. Rule 6. Installing psychological dependency through strategic absence. The most dangerous men don't advertise their power. They let the world feel it. Machiavelli would put it this way: the esteem of others is earned more through perception than persuasion. This rule works on a basic law of human desire. The less you explain, the more she wonders. And in that wondering, obsession is born. For the single man, you don't talk endlessly about your ambitions over dinner. You don't pitch her on your greatness. Instead, she watches it. She sees you walk into a restaurant and receive quiet respect. A firm handshake from an influential friend. You're speaking at an event, resolving a crisis, leading with confidence. You're not describing value. You're embodying it. And in that silence, her mind fills in the blanks. Who is he really? What does he do when I'm not around? Why do powerful people follow his lead? That quiet mystery becomes irresistible. Every unanswered question becomes a hook in her mind. Now for the man in a relationship or marriage. You don't ask permission. You don't seek validation. You expand quietly. You build new alliances. Make strategic moves. Grow your influence. She sees the results. New collaborators. New projects. new wins, decisions made without drama, progress that needs no announcement. She isn't part of every step, but she sees the outcomes. Stability, growth, quiet control. And that distance? That selective absence, it forces her to reevaluate her emotional footing. It creates psychological dependency, because she realizes you don't need her approval to move forward. Here's your final strategic move. Stop over-explaining. Starve her of unnecessary details. Replace words with evidence. Let her see your discipline, feel your growth, and witness your expanding world. Every action you take should whisper, "I don't need to convince you. My results speak louder than my voice." He already controls the game, because the moment she realizes she can't fully predict you, can't access every layer of your world, her instincts anchor deeper into you. Not because of what you say, but because of what you withhold. She begins chasing the very stability, mystery and power you radiate, without effort. And now, we arrive at the truth behind it all. This wasn't about tactics, not about tricks. This is about a decision, a line every man must eventually face, a point where the path splits in two. One path leads to a life of noise, explaining yourself, defending your choices, chasing validation, negotiating your worth. The other, it's quieter, but heavier. Heavy with presence. Heavy with stillness. Heavy with unshakable self-command. Machiavelli would whisper, "Men are respected for their power, not their explanations." The dangerous man doesn't compete for attention. He doesn't chase approval. He doesn't seek understanding. He becomes gravity. And when gravity is strong, everything and everyone begins to orbit. Not because he forces them, not through manipulation, but because true power doesn't demand, it attracts. These rules, they're not games to play with women. They're disciplines to master within yourself. Because once you become sovereign, once you're emotionally untouchable, the world adjusts. She feels it. They feel it. Even those who resist it will feel pulled closer. This isn't about romance. It isn't about technique. This is command. This is power. Unlocked. Now stand, now rise, now walk. If this message opened your eyes, and you're ready to become the man who truly owns his life, my book, The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen, is now available. It's a strategic manual for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in love and life. Whether you're single or committed, there's no fluff, no tricks, just real powerful strategy that separates you from 99% of men. The link is in the description. And if this spoke to you, don't let the moment pass. Drop a comment, even just a few words, because when you write it, you remember it. If these lessons spoke to you, they might speak to someone else too. So hit the like button if this content resonated, and share it with someone who needs to hear it right now. Trust your instinct. You know who that is. We're all on the same path, trying to get clearer, stronger, more solid on the inside. So let's build minds that don't break. Let's build men who lead, not chase.